This is my face when I realize I've been wrong about Karen. This is my face whenever Candiace relishes in being the victim. And please, God, let's discuss these very stupid shoes. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today I'm covering Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 5, Episode 13, No Shows and Showdowns. Another great episode from just the most entertaining of all the housewives going on right now. It's so good. I'm really enjoying the season. I'm really frustrated by all this stuff, but I'm still really enjoying it. And I can't wait to talk about it, so let's get into it. Hey guys, I just want to take a second and say if you're enjoying this show, please check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com, search Real Housewives Recaps, or check the comments below and I'll put a link. And for $1 a week, you can support my show and get 4 bonus episodes per month. I'm covering Scary Island, like the greatest season of Real Housewives of New York. So check it out. Thanks so much. So we start out at the jewelry store, and Kara is our associate, and Kara's very excited to be on TV. Then again, so is Gizelle. Gizelle says that she and Jamal are back together and the trajectory is good, and the ring the first time was 5 carats, so the second time needs to be 10, double for her trouble. So of course Giselle's making it about her. Juan arrives and he says he's looking for something simple, something Morganite stone. I haven't actually heard of that, I don't think. The first ring he picks up, $59,000. So he says his budget's more of $8,000 to $10,000. And again, I'm thinking like, listen, I don't know what your bank account's like, but you're clearly going through money issues again. Do you want to maybe wait to get that ring? I mean, maybe repropose with her old ring and then buy a new ring when money makes sense? Just a thought. We go over to Monique's house and we get to meet Pearl, Chris's godfather. Well, I guess we've seen him before, but we get to re-meet Pearl. They're working on, he's helping Monique set up. She's working on her Third Life podcast show for Not For Lazy Moms. She's stressed because it's low ticket sales. She says they've only sold 20 out of 300. I'm really surprised by this. You'd think with all the drama going on and the rumors swirling around, more people would be there. I'm kind of surprised, but it did look like there were more than 20 people there later. Not many more, but more. She's putting together these tote bags for the event, and Pearl's helping her. He's a pastor, and she says they call him when they need help. And she's saying she's embarrassed by the altercation, and he's asking, well, why did you let this happen? And they talk about the deeper meaning behind it. She decides she wants to reach out to some of the ladies and see if they want to come to her podcast. She calls Robyn, and she tells her that the podcast is about redefining yourself. Robyn says she's going to think about it. She calls Karen and invites her and says she will be there. Calls Wendy, she reaches out to her about joining the podcast, being in the audience of the podcast, and Wendy says, I don't feel like you have any remorse for what you did. And Monique says, I'm working on myself. Now, Monique makes a good point here. She says, I've made mistakes. Let me share what I've learned, and let me show you my growth. They won't even show up to let her show her growth. So that's a pretty interesting way to think about it. Then we have Karen and Ray. And you guys, Ray has pissed me off so bad this season. He is just so wrong. They go to this life coach because Ray is anti-therapy. So Karen's trying to do anything she can to get him to talk about things however he's comfortable. He doesn't think about her at all. And Ray says he's working on his third retirement and that she needs to be Ray Huger's wife. But right now, I'm Karen Huger's husband. Ooh, that is not a good thing to say. I know he's older. I know he's old school. Fine. But no, that's not okay. You can't say things like that. It's just rude and it's inconsiderate. And obviously, he knows it affects Karen. So there's sometimes you just gotta, I don't know, you gotta just, even when your partner's wrong, you gotta humor them a little bit. I don't know, even if you feel like they're wrong. But I don't think Karen's wrong in this part. But he finally acknowledges that it was nice of her to step up when he was having trouble. And she seems to appreciate that. But Ray really pissed me off this episode. It really bothered me. Karen was making faces like this, which cracked me up. And the life coach was making this face, which was like, girl, what are you doing with him? Then we're going to go over to Wendy's house. And I just want you to know this is my face through the entirety of Wendy's scenes. Oh my gosh, let's get into it. Oh, Wendy. Okay. Wendy is making milk for Cameron. Fine. Okay, cool. She makes a big deal out of giving drops to her other kids. It was the most bizarre thing. And she even makes a point of saying she's going to give milk to Dad. I mean, obviously we know what she meant, but I was so grossed out and creeped out. And oh my God, were you guys grossed out? Was it just me? Oh my God. I don't know what to say. I'm not trying to offend anybody who's breastfeeding. That's wonderful. Great for you. But to do this on camera and to give it to your older kids and make such a big deal out of it is just such a Wendy thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, she's very full of herself. So of course she'd brag about doing this too. I just felt very uncomfortable. So Wendy then talks about she's having a gathering. It's called Wine with Wendy. It's a gathering of black women in the area. It's about empowering them. And she's definitely not going to invite Monique. She makes a big point about that. She wants to talk about the election, the power of black vote, etc. She calls Candace, and Candace, oh my God, still milking it. Ugh, milk. Says, I have to take it by the hour because of the panic attacks. Oh, okay, Candace. How's Ashley doing after you threatened her with a knife, huh? How, is she having to take it by an hour too? Here's my issue with Wendy. I just find her so full of herself. You know, she's trying to do this great thing, and that's fantastic. Empowering women and people of color and really, you know, doing great things for the community, but she still makes it about herself. It's Wine with Wendy. Aren't you guys lucky to be with Wendy? Look at all my degrees. It's Wendy. This is what I do. It's such a turnoff. That's the comments I've gotten from most of you guys, too. It's just too much. Like, dial it down, Wendy. And then Gizelle picks up Jamal, and it's hard for me to care about this because I don't feel like Jamal's going to be around for the long haul. I know she's trying to talk to him about it, but the whole interaction was just kind of weird. And he kind of turns it around on her like, why haven't you vocalized this before that you're in it for the long haul and all that? It felt icky. I felt like maybe his past is coming back up. Like, this is uncomfortable for me. I may not want to settle down, so I'm going to turn her back around on you. So I just didn't love it. She drops him off at the airport. There you go. So then it's time for Monique's live podcast. So she has her people there. She has an MC. She has other speakers. She's ready to go. We see Chris there. Love that he's so supportive. That's awesome. Ashley shows up. She says all the other ladies are turning their backs on Monique. I'm going to be there to support my friend. And Monique says at 6:30 in the morning, Karen sent a text that she was sick. And she reminds us that she went to her perfume fragrance, or her fragrance launch at 8.5 months pregnant. Ashley then tells that Karen told the group when Candiace asked what she would do, that Karen said she would press charges. So Monique is genuinely shocked about this, and Ashley says, that doesn't sound like you were trying to be there for both of your friends. It sounds like you were trying to instigate Candace. And then Ashley says Karen pushed the domino that started this whole process of the legal process. You know, here's my thing on this. Yeah, Karen probably shouldn't have said that if she was trying to remain in the middle. So yeah, Karen maybe she shouldn't have said that, but I don't blame her for all this. You know who I do blame besides Candace? Is Candace's mom. She was so excited, and you could just tell she loved the drama. So she's like, you know, you need to be calling the lawyer. You need to press charges. And she got Candace all riled up, and Candace always has a weird thing with her mom, so of course she's going to press charges. But I'm not taking the fault away from Candace. This is Candace's fault. Candiace was the instigator. I mean, no, I know I say it every week. They shouldn't have got violent. But Candiace was the instigator. And then Candiace goes and presses charges. I just have a real problem with that. We go over to Robyn and Juan, and it's really hard to care what's going on with them because Robyn, I just find her so boring. It's hard to be interested in her storyline. I think Juan is cute. I think she's a great mom, but I can't be excited about her hats or her storyline. I just can't. But he's talking about reproposing to her. He wants it to be a secret. They invite her parents to come. When she goes away to the bathroom, he ends up telling them and the kids that he's going to repropose. They don't seem super enthused by the idea, which, I get it. It's your kid. You want the best for him. Maybe, based on his past, I don't know if that's the best or not. So, anyway. Then we go to Wine with Wendy. Please don't make me talk about Wendy more. Wendy. Okay, here we go. Wendy. Here's her event. Okay. Good intentions for the event. I'm not knocking the event. I'm knocking Wendy. I just find Wendy so full of herself and so proud of herself, but I'm not. She should be proud of herself for her degrees, but my God, is that all you have to talk about? Because that's all she seems to be able to talk about, and it's hard to watch. Good for you in real life, but in a housewife, that's not what I'm looking for. We see the ladies arriving for the event. Karen's here, Ashley's here, and then they had to show us this. Even Candiace's shoes are annoying. Look at this. Who would wear those? That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. It's the dumbest looking shoe I've ever seen. And it just embodies Candiace. It's just obnoxious. So she walks in and they're all checking them out and pretending like they like them or whatever. So the ladies are arriving and they're sitting down to listen to Wendy speak, and we see Robyn arrive. Oh girl, what is happening? Oh, between like that wig she was wearing when she met Juan in a bar and this wig, that is awful. What are we doing here? What is happening? So all the women are saying, burn that wig. And one of them says, what are you trying to hide from the IRS? What is this? Oh, it's so bad. It's just terrible on her. So after Wendy is done talking about herself, we go over to Candiace and Karen. And Candiace asks her to go talk downstairs. So traditionally, or in the past, we've seen Candiace and Karen buddy-buddy. And I think that's part of the reason that I didn't care for Karen. Because I thought, who could be friends with Candiace? But they go talk, and it gets interesting. But while they're gone, the other ladies, and by that I mean Gizelle, starts talking shit, saying, I saw Wendy, and she told me that Karen had to bail out Ray. So Gizelle to camera says, typically Karen only spills the beans when she feels comfortable, and something is definitely going on with her. So they're talking about when Karen got drunk at Monique's lake house, she started spilling the beans and told everybody she had to bail them out. I don't know why this is a huge shock. I mean, they stayed together, right? And they got through it. So in the logical conclusion that they, I don't know, put their money together, figured it out, she bailed him out, however you want to say it. I don't know. I don't think it's a huge shock. And the most annoying housewife in the history of all the franchises goes to Candiace. Okay, so Karen asks how she is. Candiace immediately lays it on thick. I'm going to therapy to try to figure out emotions. We have to discuss the elephant in the room. You've made excuses for Monique. You've coddled Monique. And you're choosing a side. And you know what? I love Queen Karen here. That's right. I said it. Queen Karen. I was wrong. She's amazing. Here's why. She handled herself so well and she was so articulate in this argument. And Candiace is a fool. Because Karen is telling her, listen, one of the things I know about you, Candiace, is you're brilliant. Your mind is powerful. I don't know about that. But so is your mouth. I'm insulted that you said I should be against Monique. Let me tell you, young lady, that I have coddled you a year ago, and I had your back. When I was holding you down, I didn't agree with what you had said or done, but I've done no more for my friend Monique than what I did for you. Boom! Good job, Karen. That was amazing. Well said. It kind of lets us into what Karen's thinking here, and it doesn't really match up with the, yeah, you should press charges thing, but who cares? Like, I thought she just handled herself really well here and stood up to Candiace. Candiace is playing the victim so hard that she's mad that Karen doesn't 100% have her side. It's so crazy. This is like middle school bullshit. This is not how grown-ups talk. So the rest of the group is talking, and I've always been a fan of Ashley, not so much lately because of all this stupid Michael stuff, but that aside, okay. So she's trying to tell the group why she's Team Monique, but she's saying she's not following her blindly. But she kind of screws up here, and she basically says, well, when you all were attacking my husband for doing the thing that he didn't do, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, yes, he did, she didn't. She could have made up lies. This is what Ashley's saying. She could have made up lies about what she saw on tape. She didn't. I think what Ashley's trying to say is he did some shit on tape. She didn't come forward with it. Thank you. I got your back now. So Wendy goes down to check on Karen and Candiace because Wendy thinks it's the Wendy show. Candiace is saying she's been proud and talking about Monique, has been proud and boastful and talks about her tweets. Hello? Hasn't this come up every season that Candiace tweets the nastiest things and calls people terrible names and calls them roach and shit like that? So let's not get into Twitter stuff. So Wendy's getting in the middle of it. She says to camera, Monique's actions were wrong. I don't care who you are. I hold you accountable. And I have PTSD flashbacks of Lisa Rinna. Own it. Own it. That's what you say when you can't think of other things to say. So this is where I love Karen. She says, I respect your opinion, but it's your opinion. And you want me to choose a side and abandon Monique. I'm not going to do that. And Wendy says, we want you to say you'll hold Monique accountable. But I love Karen. I thought she handled herself so well. And, she's trying to be a good friend. And Karen had the best line of the episode. She then says, I've always held her accountable. And talking to Wendy says, as educated as you are, you sound very ignorant. Common sense is a saving grace. Woo! I love Karen. That was amazing. Thank God she can see whatever Wendy is, and thank God you guys can too, because I've had so many comments saying that we just can't with Wendy. I feel the same way. I don't understand these people that are saying, we love Wendy. I don't get it. I don't think she adds anything to the show, and she didn't add anything to this argument. So, I don't know. I'm not into her at all. So that's how it ends. Candiace and Wendy walk up the steps together, and Wendy keeps saying, I got you, to Candiace, and Candiace keeps saying, you're a real bitch. Now that sounds mean, but she was saying it in a positive way, like you're a real person, you're a real bitch. So that's how the episode ends. Then we see a flash to next time. Sounds like they're going to Portugal. So Ashley's hosting the trip to Portugal. We see Ashley at therapy. She's really struggling with this whole Michael thing, as you should be, especially since the new information came out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look for my last news video because I talk about the new stuff Michael's been doing. We see Candace crying because that's what Candace does. We see Gizelle talking to Karen and telling her that Wendy shared you had to bail Ray out with your money, so that's not going to go very well. And then we see it's Karen versus Wendy. I'm guessing Gizelle had something to do with that. And then we see Monique. She's stressed out about all this and said she's coming after Candiace legally this time. And that's it. You guys, so much to look forward to. Such a good episode. I talked for 20 minutes about this because I'm loving this season. There's so much going on. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's just so much fun to talk about all this stuff. I love all of your comments. I read them all. And I just appreciate everything. Thanks for following me. Check out my Patreon. It goes to support the show. And leave me a message on Twitter if you want. I'm at Real Recaps, and I thank you guys for everything, and have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.